This demonstration uses the Bosch mixer. Add 6 cups of hot water. The way I gauge it is I stick my hand under the tap. If it is almost too hot to keep my hand there, I know it's right. Add a 1/4 cup of instant dry yeast to the water. Then add 1 1/2 cups of sugar or honey. The honey seems to make the best result, but is more expensive. Add a 1/2 cup, a heaping 1/2 cup of vital wheat gluten. Add 4 cups of rolled oats. Quick oats seem to make a finer texture for the bread. Add a 1/4 cup of canola or vegetable oil. Add 1 tablespoon plus 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Put on the splash guard and then just turn it on a few times just to mix everything together. If you soak the oats a little longer, they seem to be softer in the bread. I like to add 5 cups of flour before turning on the mixer. Then it doesn't make such a mess. Gradually add about 5 more cups and then turn up the power level to the next level. The way you know there's enough dough is when it pulls away from the edges and it's clean. Make sure you check with your finger after 11 or 12 cups of flour. The dough should feel dry after flouring your finger. It should begin to rip apart inside of the mixer. It should be very elasticy and not sticky at all. After kneading for 8 minutes, the dough will fall out of the bowl and not leave any in there. I choose not to let the dough raise twice. I take the bread hook out and then lightly turn it, not pressing too hard, so that it doesn't have to work so hard to rise in the bread pans. I use 5 medium-sized loaf pans. And the way that I use this, or the way that I portion it, is using a 5-pointed star I printed off the internet. Then I use something pokey like a skewer or a thermometer and poke where the holes intersect. This gives me some guidelines. Then I use a pizza cutter. You can use anything really, to give me some lines where I can cut by connecting the dots. This doesn't make it exact, but it gets it closer, so when you put it on the kitchen scale, you can add or take away a little bit to make the loaves pretty close. When I do this, they average about 28 ounces per portion. When I have to add a little bit to another loaf, I put it on the bottom so that the smooth edge is on the top, and I just tuck it in. make a rounded top. After spraying the pans, I set it in and gently press down so it fills out to the edges. Then I tuck the edges in, creating a nice dome. I used to punch it down pretty hard, but I found that this works faster. I use a hot washcloth or towel and wring it out really good in the sink, and it helps it raise quicker and keeps the tops moist. After raising, I am able to stick all 5 loaf pans in the oven. I put 3 across the back and 2 across the front, just like they are sitting here. If you look at the texture of this bread, it has some nice space in it. It's bouncy and really is quite light. I hope you enjoy.